While cruising down Route 66 on our way back to Reno, we stopped at the Stafford Air and Space Museum in Weatherford, Oklahoma. The Stafford Air and Space Museum is named after Lieutenant General Thomas P. Stafford. This museum, which became a Smithsonian affiliate in 2011, has exhibits about aviation, space exploration, and rocketry. The website states there is more than 63,000 square feet of space, as well as more than 3,500 artifacts on display. The outside grounds have a few displays as well. Outside you'll see a Fairchild A-10 Warthog. Next to that is a CT-33 jet trainer aircraft. The main entrance sign also has an F-4C Phantom II as part of the display. Near the entrance to the building is an Apollo boilerplate mock-up. Boilerplate craft are non-functional craft that are used to test various configurations and basic size, load, and handling characteristics of rocket launch vehicles. What really helps make the entrance grand is this Lockheed F-104 Starfighter that stands proudly at the doors to the museum itself. The F-104 was a supersonic interceptor deployed as a fighter bomber during the Cold War. This aircraft flew over 5,000 combat sorties during the Vietnam War. This aircraft also served in NASA until 1994. After paying the entry fee, which was very reasonable, the first display area you see pertains to General Stafford's early life as a child all the way into his military career. Stafford graduated from the United States Naval Academy, then commissioned in the United States Air Force. You might notice some of the displays have yellow stars with numbers on them. These correlate to a tour guide that explains more about some of the exhibits that you are already looking at and is very handy. After the exhibit about Stafford's early life, you next walk into an area that shows some history of Stafford's early spaceflight career. There are multiple displays about his time as an Apollo, Gemini, and Soyuz astronaut. Walking out of this display area next brings you to a section of the museum that shows some early aviation history. There is a mock-up of the Wright Flyer and many related items to the Wright brothers themselves. It's kind of quiet in here today. I pretty much have it to myself. Doesn't get much better than that. Here's a display of the Wright Flyer. After the Wright brothers display area, there was a neat cutaway model of a radial engine that allowed you to see the internal workings. You just had to hold the button down to actually make it work. Pretty cool. Amongst the historical replicas was a nice full-size replica of the first aircraft which was flown non-stop across the Atlantic Ocean, the Spirit of St. Louis. The pilot of the plane was Charles Lindbergh. After leaving the historic aircraft area, things moved into the future a bit. The next display area was pretty cool, as not only were there a couple of actual rocket engines to look at, there was also a series of model rockets in 1/72nd scale to show the relative size of the rockets throughout the years. It's a little model of the Goddard rocket in scale to all the other rockets from history, all the way up to the big Saturn V. As an added bonus, there was a life-size replica of Robert Goddard's first liquid-fueled rocket setup, which was launched in 1926 in Auburn, Massachusetts. Here's a F1 engine. It's pretty humongous. The Rocketdyne J2 rocket engine was used on the Saturn 1B and the Saturn V rockets. This rocket engine burned liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen propellants. Each engine could develop 230,000 pounds of thrust. This console is one of the actual consoles used for the Gemini space missions, for mission control at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas. This craft is an actual complete Gemini capsule. There is only room for 2 astronauts in the craft itself, and you could barely call it room at that. This object is called a Space Lab Pallet. It is used for mounting instruments and other devices that require exposure to space. This actual one has flown 3 times in space. Yeah, this is casing from a Mark VI nuclear warhead. This sits atop the Titan II. I'm assuming the nuke's not inside of it right now. This is a display of an actual Titan II missile. Apparently is an actual flight-ready artifact and is one of the few Titans still in existence. Geminis 6 and 9, which Stafford flew aboard, utilized the Titan II missile to launch them into space. Looks like that's seen some heat on re-entry. This view inside the Gemini capsule shows how tight the space is. You definitely better be able to get along with your fellow astronauts on the flight. Hubble Space Telescope. Good old Space Snoopy. Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the Apollo 10 mission. This is the power head is the heart of the space shuttle main engine. So this was from a space shuttle. It's pretty impressive. Those are nice looking welds on there for sure. This engine is one of the space shuttle's main engines and was actually flown on the shuttle on several different missions. The fact that this is the first liquid fuel rocket that was designed to be reused and able to be throttled to different power levels made this engine the most sophisticated and complex rocket engine ever developed. Astronaut maneuvering unit. So we're doing spacewalks. Shuttle orbiter landing gear tires. This is a full-size replica of the lunar lander featuring likenesses of Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. Here's one of the links from the crawler. It's at Cape Canaveral. One of the neat things about this museum is the sheer number of miscellaneous space items to see. You could spend a lot of time looking at all the pieces for sure. Space station. Apollo docking probe assembly. Alexei Leonov was the first human to walk in space. He is a Soviet cosmonaut and Soviet hero. In the movie 2010, The Year We Make Contact, there is even a spaceship named after him. Stafford and Leonov also apparently became close friends during their time together on the Apollo Soyuz mission. This is an Apollo Soyuz docking ring. According to the museum-provided brochure, this is an actual flight-ready artifact. This particular one is also signed by Leonov and Stafford. Survival equipment if they get stranded. Space shuttle simulator. Not sure if the Honeywell thermostat's original equipment though. After leaving the spaceflight area, there's even more aircraft on display. There's an actual MiG-21 that Stafford flew during his time as commander of the U.S. Air Force Flight Test Center at Groom Lake. Alexei Leonov also signed this aircraft when he visited the museum on the 40th anniversary of the Apollo Soyuz mission. Might as well go up the stairs here. Wow. Hanging from the ceiling is also a Bell X-1 replica, which Chuck Yeager flew in to break the sound barrier for the first time in 1947. It's a Mark 84 2,000-pound bomb, it says. That's my hand compared to it. There's a mock-up of the Little Boy atomic bomb. Santa Claus going for a ride on that one too. Can't hurt Santa though.
At 9:15, the bomb was dropped.
Here's the motor to a AGM-86 cruise missile. This is a great museum to visit for any aviation and space enthusiast. The entry fee is very reasonable, and there is a nice gift shop at the end of the tour. You could easily spend a couple of hours here just looking at all the displays. And if I ever come back through Route 66 in Oklahoma, I'll definitely be stopping here again.